Ever been laughed out of an event you paid $60,000 to host? I walked into my sister's wedding reception in a waiter's uniform. Black vest, clip-on bow tie, cheap polyester pants that rustled when I moved. The wedding planner saw me first. Her eyes went wide. Then she leaned over to the groom's mother and whispered something. They both laughed. Not a polite chuckle. A full mean laugh. Guests turned. Someone gasped. My sister's new mother-in-law raised her champagne glass like she was toasting my humiliation. But I had a microphone in my jacket pocket, and I had a folder in my bag with 3 signed contracts, a state business registration, and a recording that was about to turn their perfect night into a reckoning. Stick around. You'll want to see what happened when I took that mic. And drop a comment. Where are you watching from? It's midnight here and I could use the company. Let me rewind. Because 30 days earlier, I thought this wedding was going to be perfect. 6 years ago, my parents died in a car crash. I was 24. My sister Lily was 18. We got a life insurance payout. Not huge. Enough to keep the apartment and get Lily through community college if I stretched it. So I stretched it. I worked double shifts as an event coordinator, corporate galas, charity auctions, fundraisers where people spent more on centerpieces than I made in a month. I learned every trick. I knew what catering actually cost. I knew the markup on florals. And I kept records. Every invoice. Every contract. Every email. It was the only way to survive in that industry. When Lily got engaged last fall, I was over the moon. Her fiancé, Ryan, was a good guy. Steady job. Kind. He looked at her like she hung the stars. I told her I'd fund the wedding. My gift, $60,000. That was the cap. I opened a dedicated account. I built a shared spreadsheet. Every line item tracked to the penny. Lily was drowning in details. Flowers, invitations, seating charts. She asked if we could hire a planner. I said yes. I even had someone in mind. But Ryan's mom, Diane, insisted we use someone she knew. A planner named Miranda. She came highly recommended. I should have trusted my gut. But I wanted to keep the peace. So I hired Miranda. I sent her the budget breakdown. $60,000. Not a cent more. That's when the numbers stopped adding up. 3 weeks before the wedding, Miranda sent an email. Subject line, updated invoice. I opened it. The new total was $75,000. $15,000 over budget. I read every line. Floral installations, $12,000. We'd agreed on $4,500. Catering, $34 per plate. The original quote was $18. I wrote back, Miranda, can you send me the vendor quotes? These numbers don't match our contract. Her reply came in 2 minutes. Floral installations have scaled to meet Lily's vision. The new total reflects current market rates. No attachments, no quotes. Just corporate speak. I tried again. I need to see the actual invoices from the florist and caterer. This time, she copied Diane. I'm concerned about the level of micromanagement here. Lily deserves her dream wedding. If budget is an issue, we should discuss alternatives. Then Diane called me. Her voice was ice. You're harassing a professional. Miranda has coordinated over 200 weddings. If you can't afford it, just say so. We'll figure it out. I can afford what we agreed on. I just want to see the vendor contracts. You're being controlling. This is Lily's day, not yours. 2 hours later, Miranda sent an ultimatum. Approve the revised budget by Friday or I walk. Good luck finding a replacement 3 weeks out. I had 72 hours to decide. Pay the overage, or lose the planner and break my sister's heart. I didn't approve the budget. Instead, I tried to go around Miranda. I called the florist, voicemail, full inbox. I emailed the caterer. Bounced back. Address not recognized. I looked up the DJ on the contract. The number went to a disconnected line. Every vendor on Miranda's list was a dead end. I contacted the venue coordinator. Hi, I'm the one funding the wedding. Can you confirm the catering contract? Her reply was polite but firm. Per our agreement, all vendor communication goes through the planner of record. Please contact Miranda. I was being walled out of my own event. Then Diane told Lily I was harassing vendors, that I was trying to sabotage the wedding because I was jealous. Lily called me. She was crying. "Why are you doing this? Miranda says you're making her job impossible. Just let her handle it. Please." "Lily, the numbers don't add up. I just want to see the real contracts. You're stressing me out more than helping. Maybe step back for a bit." She hung up. My little sister, the person I'd worked 2 jobs to raise. She didn't trust me. The wedding was 17 days away. I had no proof. And I was completely shut out. I thought I'd lost. But I had one thing Miranda didn't know about. I had a login to the vendor portal. It's an industry platform we all use. Planners, coordinators, venues. If you're in events, you're on it. Miranda didn't know I had access. I logged in at 2 a.m. I searched for the venue. Then I pulled up the contracts linked to Lily's wedding date. The florist's invoice appeared first. Signed and dated. Total cost, $4,200. Miranda had billed me $12,000. I opened the catering contract. $18 per plate for 150 guests. $2,700 total. Miranda's invoice said $34 per plate. $5,100. Line by line, I went through every vendor. DJ, photographer, rentals. The real cost was $46,000. Miranda had billed me $75,000. That's a $29,000 difference. I looked at the payment details. Every check I'd written had gone to something called Lux Event Services, LLC. Not to the florist. Not to the caterer. To Lux Event Services. I ran a search. Lux Event Services was a limited liability company registered 8 months ago in our state. I pulled the filing. It listed 2 members, Miranda Kellerman and Diane Voss. She wasn't upselling. She was stealing. And my future mother-in-law was her partner. I didn't confront them. Not yet. I kept digging. But Miranda found out I'd accessed the vendor portal. One of the coordinators must have flagged my login. She called an emergency meeting with Diane. No, I wasn't invited. They met with Lily. Miranda told her I was sabotaging the wedding, that I'd violated confidentiality agreements by contacting vendors directly. Diane backed her up. She told Lily I was out of control, that I was trying to ruin Ryan's family's reputation. Then Diane sent me a text. "You are no longer welcome at wedding planning meetings. We will reimburse you after the wedding on a payment plan. Do not contact Miranda again." A payment plan? For money I'd already paid. Money that went into their pockets. I tried to call Lily. She didn't pick up. I texted her. "Please just look at the contracts. I have proof." Her reply came 3 hours later. "I can't deal with this right now. You're making everything worse." Then Miranda's lawyer sent a cease and desist letter. It arrived by email. Certified PDF. The letter accused me of defamation, harassment, and tortious interference with business relationships. It threatened legal action if I contacted any vendor or made any further allegations. The wedding was 9 days away. I was uninvited from my own sister's event. Threatened with a lawsuit. But that lawyer's letterhead? I recognized the firm. And I made one phone call. I have a friend from college who's a lawyer. Not at that firm, but he knows people. I forwarded him the cease and desist. "Does this look legit to you?" He called me back in 20 minutes. "It's fake." Templated letterhead. No case number. No attorney signature block. And I checked. Miranda Kellerman isn't a client there. This is a bluff. Receipt number 2. But I wasn't done. I went back to the state business registry. I pulled every document filed under Lux Event Services. The LLC was registered 8 months ago, 1 week after I signed Miranda's planning contract. Diane Voss was listed as a co-member, 50% owner. I pulled Diane's public records. Bankruptcy filing. 14 months prior. Chapter 7. Discharged. Then I found her Facebook. Public profile. She'd posted 2 weeks earlier. So proud to host my son's elegant celebration. Family is everything. Host! She was taking credit. Publicly. She was broke. The wedding was her social comeback. And she was funding it by stealing from me. I screenshot everything: the LLC filing, the bankruptcy case number, the fake legal letter, the real vendor contracts. I put it all in a folder, printed and digital. Now I knew exactly who was behind it, and I knew exactly what to do. Why would a mother-in-law steal from her son's future family? Diane's bankruptcy told the story. She'd invested in a boutique 2 years earlier. High-end clothing. It tanked. She lost everything. Her social circle was wealthy. Country club memberships, charity galas. She'd built her identity on appearances. The bankruptcy was public record, humiliating. She'd been dropped from boards, quietly uninvited from events. This wedding was her chance to claw back her reputation. A lavish celebration. Her son marrying a beautiful girl. She'd be the gracious host. Except she couldn't afford it. So she brought in Miranda. They'd known each other from the boutique days. Miranda had done some event styling before it closed. The plan was simple. Inflate every cost. Route payments through the LLC. Split the markup. Blame the overzealous sibling if anyone asked questions. I found a cached text thread on an old phone backup. Diane to Miranda. She'll never check. She's too busy playing mom. She thought I was naive, that I'd just write checks and smile. Ryan, the groom, had no idea. I'd seen his Venmo to Diane months earlier. Thanks for helping with wedding stuff, Mom. He thought she was contributing. She was stealing from me, from Lily, from her own son's future, and she'd almost gotten away with it. I met with a contracts attorney, not my lawyer friend, someone who specialized in fraud. I laid out everything. The fake invoices, the LLC, the cease and desist bluff. She read Miranda's planning contract. Then she smiled. You have a termination for cause clause. Fraud voids the agreement. You can fire her. And she owes you restitution. Can I do it at the wedding? She raised an eyebrow. Legally? Yes, advisable. That's your call. I called my friend in catering, the one who got me my first event job. I explained the situation. I need a waiter uniform. And I need you to get me past the door. He laughed. You're really doing this? I'm really doing this. The plan was simple. Show up in uniform. Bypass the guest list. Miranda and Diane wouldn't dare make a scene and risk exposing themselves. Wait for the toasts. Take the mic. Present the evidence. Fire Miranda on the spot. I contacted 3 vendors directly. The florist, the caterer, the DJ. I explained what happened. I offered to pay them directly. They agreed to finish the event under the real contracts. No interruption to Lily's night. I wasn't going in angry. I was going in prepared. Saturday arrived. I put on the vest and bow tie. I put the folder in my bag. And I walked in. The reception hall was beautiful. String lights, white roses, everything Lily had dreamed of. I walked in through the service entrance, vest, bow tie, tray in hand. Miranda saw me first. Her face went pale, then red. She leaned over to Diane and whispered. Diane's eyes locked on me. She started to stand, but the room was full of guests. Making a scene would raise questions. So she sat back down, and she glared. A few people stared. Someone murmured. But I looked like staff. So most ignored me. The toast started. Ryan's best man went first, then a college friend of Lily's. Then the MC said, Anyone else want to say a few words? I walked up to the mic. I set down my tray. I pulled the folder from my jacket. Hi, everyone. I'm Lily's older sibling. Some of you know me. I'm the one who had the honor of funding this beautiful day. Lily's face was confused. Ryan looked surprised. Miranda stood up. This is inappropriate. I kept going. I want to talk about what this day actually cost. And about someone who tried to ruin it. I opened the folder. I held up the first page. The florist billed me $12,000. The real invoice was $4,200. I held up the second page. The caterer. Billed $5,100. Real cost $2,700. Gasps. Whispers. Every vendor was marked up. The payments went to a company called Lux Event Services. I held up the state filing. Lux Event Services is owned by two people: Miranda Kellerman, our wedding planner, and Diane Voss, Ryan's mother. The room went silent. Ryan stood up. His face was white. "Mom, what is this?" Diane stammered. "It's a misunderstanding." "She's lying." I held up the LLC registration. "The state filing disagrees. You're listed as a 50% owner, registered 1 week after I hired Miranda." I turned to Miranda. "You're fired. Here's your termination letter. You have 14 days to return the overcharges, or I file in civil court." I handed her the letter. She didn't take it, so I set it on her table. Lily was frozen. Then she started crying. She walked over to me, and she hugged me. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I didn't believe you." Miranda grabbed her purse. She left without a word. Diane followed. The door slammed. The DJ started the next song, and my sister danced. Miranda returned $11,400 within 10 days. She knew I had the receipts. She knew I'd win in court. She quietly dissolved Lux Event Services. Last I heard, she left the event industry entirely. Diane issued a private apology. Handwritten note. 2 lines. I was desperate. That's no excuse. I didn't respond. Lily did. She told her mother-in-law that trust takes years to build and seconds to destroy. Ryan was horrified. He had no idea. He thought his mom was helping. He and Diane are in family therapy now. It's slow. It's hard. But he's trying. The relationship between Diane and me? Strained. We're civil at family events. That's enough. I used the recovered funds to pay for Lily and Ryan's honeymoon. 2 weeks in Greece. That's what the money was always for. Lily sent me photos every day. Sunsets, ancient ruins. Her smiling wider than I'd seen in years. She framed one of the reception photos. The two of us dancing. It's on her mantle now. We're closer than we've ever been. She calls me twice a week. She asks for advice. She listens. I didn't sue for punitive damages. I didn't post the evidence online. I could have. Part of me wanted to, but that's not protection. That's revenge. And revenge doesn't build anything. I got my sister's money back. I set a boundary. I made sure she knew I'd always fight for her. That's enough. Here's what I learned. Protecting someone you love isn't about revenge. It's about making sure they're not carrying a lie. It's about showing up, even when they don't believe you, even when it costs you. Silence feels safe, but silence lets thieves win. So I didn't stay silent. And neither should you. Now I want to hear from you. Would you have gone public at the wedding or handled it privately? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this story meant something to you, hit that subscribe button. I share one story a week about standing up when it counts. Thanks for being here. And Lily? She still introduces me as the best sibling in the world. I'll take it. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization for entertainment purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. Always consult a licensed professional for your specific situation.